there, you're about to watch a quick clip from Marketing O'Clock. If you like what you see, we release new episodes every Friday with all the digital marketing news of the week. So we'd love you forever if you'd like and subscribe. Thanks. First up in the paid universe this week, Google Ads released an article. This is called Back to the Future, the old marketing feature that will drive new marketing success. And this is all about broad match. But they don't even call it a match type in this. It's like a way of life for them now. It says, this same technology has supercharged broad match, a Google ad setting that helps brands reach more people with their ads and reduces manual keyword work. So it's a Google ad setting. Or I'm surprised they didn't even call it like a feature, but it's just a way of life for them. This is actually, I think, a really good article that gives some more insight into how broad match used to work and why it used to have such a bad rap and what's going better with it now and why more and more PPC practitioners are using it. So I think it's worth a read for anyone who's not tested broad match in their accounts yet. A couple things to pull out. It says, when broad match launched, our engineering team at Google would manually write out the synonyms for a keyword and cast a really wide net.
What?
For example, an audience including cheap could match with searches for inexpensive and shoestring. And I guess that was all like manual people coming up with those synonyms.
Wow.
Can you imagine? Like, was it a team of interns? Like, that's so crazy.
They must have hired some real dumb people.
I know, because it used to be so bad. So then it says, thanks to new machine learning capabilities, large language models now better understand a user's intent. We train it with billions of pieces of text so it can learn all the different variations and meanings of a word or phrase and what sequences make sense. So we've heard that a lot about the large language models and how it's so smart now. But then it goes on to talk about more specific changes to broad match that are new in 2023. So first it says, broad match takes the order of words into account when it matters now. So some examples are flights from Paris to London, exchanges from euros to pound, USB to USB-C cable. So these are things where the order of the words is really important to the intent. And broad match used to not care about that. We used to have phrase match for that. And now we don't have phrase match really, but broad match takes that into account. Number two, they say they're talking about similar keywords in an account. So what happens when two ads for the same advertiser match to the same query? It says, previously, broad match would look at an advertiser's ad rank to help determine which ad to show. This may not have always been the best choice. And now this is me, Shep, saying, that's because nobody understands ad rank and you don't want us to really, Google Ads. So to improve relevance for the advertiser and the user, it now takes supporting information even more into account, such as other keywords in the ad group and the ads landing page. That's something I've heard about before, so that could be helping with your relevance and ad performance. This also talks about multilingual matching. So broad match now recognizes that some people might switch between languages when looking for something online, and it uses that information to serve the right ads. But I think what I love about this article is I feel like it's a total shift in like the tone from them. So it says, we're not saying that you only need to run your campaign in one language and that you'll get traffic for all, as the success of your campaign relies on your own language settings and localized creatives. But in countries with a lot of bilingual expats, it's good to know that broad match can match relevant local traffic to an ad, even if the search is made in another language. So I feel like in the past, they're kind of just always pushing new features on us and acting like it's good for everyone all the time. And I like that this article does a better job of putting in those caveats. I also love this quote. It says, while AI-powered language upgrades have made broad match a much more effective tool for search advertising, it'll continue to need a smart marketer in the driver's seat. Have you ever heard them say that?
Never. They probably didn't say that.
It's in the article.
By mistake.
I feel like they really...
Wow.
I don't know. Whoever wrote this, I feel like listens to the show and like cares about my sanity.
Thank you.
So that is really good advice because I think I definitely have broad match in my accounts. I don't know if I can say we all do, but it can work with smart bidding and the right guardrails in place. So,
and a smart marketer in the driver's seat.
Thank you. So read this and try it for yourself if you feel like it's a good fit. Darcy Burke, I also want to give a shout out from his Darcy Burke Twitter account. tagged us in this and said, would love for you guys to cover this article. So that's how I came upon it. So thanks, Darcy.
And one other note too, I feel like one problem that I hope Google Marketing Live fixes this year is the naming conventions of each one of these. Call it a setting, call it a bid type, call it whatever you want. It is a disaster, right? And then they're like, how broad match worked before? It was just people changing cheap and inexpensive. And now it's something that you don't even need to match the same query. It could be a historical search. It could match. It could be on your landing page. It is not really matching. And I am so surprised they didn't ever make this like a new keyword type.
But then they are changing the names of things to make our lives harder, like the ad extension asset change.
Right.
But then this one, it would have made sense to give it a new name and call it a new match type.
Right. And like Ford had a car called the Pinto, and it was due to the gas tank or something, it would like always start on fire. And they didn't just keep going with like, that was what broad match was, right? It was a Ford Pinto. And they're trying to like be like, oh, the Ford Pinto is now good. Like, you should get rid of that name. And it should now be AI or machine learning or whatever you want to call it, enhanced match.
I love that analogy. Is that a new one?
Yeah.
I've never heard it before.
Okay, so a lot of people were responding to this with opinions and agreeing with me and Darcy that it was a good article. Jason responded from his @JasonJH1319 Twitter account when Ginny tweeted it out and said, if only more search terms were visible to us. And Ginny replied and said, the changes to the search term report privacy thresholds won't be changing, but there's ongoing work to surface search term data in privacy preserve. Oh my God, I did it again. In privacy preserving ways and bring more functionality to search term insights. Stay tuned for updates.
That's a nice nugget.
No,
But it's the insights page. She didn't say there's more in the search term report. You gotta listen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Insights.
So then Barry turned that into an article for Search Engine Roundtable, and PPC Greg responded and said, will be interesting to watch what functionality they bring to the Insights tab. At this point, it's not useful to our team much at all. To be honest, I'd rather see them focus on other areas of the platform instead. And then he has a meme, a nice business meme of the Mean Girls theme. It's actually Aaron Samuels and Regina George like standing next to each other, but the text says, stop trying to make the Insights tab happen. It's not going to happen. I agree, PPC Grind.
It's so pointless. Like, you can't, it doesn't help you.
I never look at it.
No.